Hi, Julie here from Copy What I Use for Revision, and in today's video I'm going to show you how you can adapt Dr. Chan's GCSE total recall system revision methods to actually form your own revision methods around various subjects. He gives you the basics of how to use all different alternative revision techniques through images and like magic sort of tricks, and I'm going to show you today how I adapt those type of memory techniques to actually incorporate other subjects. Like for example, today's subject is going to be history, and I've just randomly picked out some facts from BBC Bite Size about the Elizabethan rule, just to show you how I adapt some of his memory techniques. Okay, so first of all, I'll actually zoom in on this at the end of the video because I've tried to make the writing as big as I can, but I say I'll zoom in at the end. The first thing we need to remember is she reigned in the 1500s, so number 15 is always going to apply to the years. And the first fact we're going to try and remember is that she came to power the 17th of November, 1558. Okay, so the way that I'm going to actually remember that, again, we're going to use images, and I'm going to start by putting a timer, and the timer is going to show 1558 on the timer. Okay, so that represents the year 1558 on the timer. And then I need to remember then that she came to power on the 17th of November. So what I'm going to do, at the time that she actually took over from Queen Mary, it was actually a very unstable time, okay? So I've decided to do this via a tightrope. So I'm going to put a tightrope, which is not looking very stable, it's all squiggled. I'm going to have Elizabeth sort of, I'm not very good at drawing, as you can see, but I'm going to try and do it that she's sort of her legs everywhere, she's unstable, okay? So it's unstable, it's 1558 is the year. Now I need to remember the 17th of November. Okay, so what I've started to, I think, how could I remember November as an image? And I'm going to remember that it's bonfire night. I'm going to try and think of anything relevant for November, which is bonfire night. So on the one hand, when she's unsteady on the tightrope, I'm going to have her holding some gunpowder. Okay, so it's going to look like a sort of bomb. I say forgive my diagrams because I'm not very good at drawing, but you get the idea. Okay, so there's the gunpowder looking as if it's going to explode. So that's going to be the November bit. And for the 17, I think I'll have it that it's actually 17 kilos. Okay, so there's 17 kilos of gunpowder. So that's going to make us remember the 17th of November, 1558 in the time. That's when she took over. And when she took over, she was inheriting lots of problems regarding religion, because there'd been religious persecution previously, poverty, and foreign enemies were becoming more powerful. They were three key points that she inherited as problems. So on the other hand, on the tightrope, so remember we're starting off the timer when she's on this tightrope of 1558, the year she came to power. She's got the gunpowder for November, and 17 kilos is pretty heavy. She's unbalanced now on this tightrope because it's unstable. And on the other hand, we're going to put three items that represent these three problems that she's inherited. So for religion, I'm just going to do a simple cross. So she's got a cross in her hand. For the poverty, I'm going to put a begging bowl. So she's got a very big hand. She's extending her arm out. She's got a cross. She's got a begging bowl. And then for enemies getting more powerful, I'm just going to write the name enemy getting bigger and bigger. Okay, so therefore now we've got, as I say, the cross for religion, the begging bowl for poverty, and enemy word, I've just got getting bigger and bigger and bigger to show that they were gaining more power. So obviously they were becoming a threat to the nation. Now at this particular time, a lot of people didn't think the women were fit to rule. So for this one, again, we're still unstable because obviously they would want to overthrow it because they didn't like women. So I'm going to have a sort of, again, balancing very unsteady on this this tightrope. And I'm just going to put a big hand as though it's trying to push her off because they didn't want women to rule. Okay, so let's just do a recap. 1558 is the time we're setting this tightrope off when she's going to actually walk across the tightrope. That's the year she took it over. Then from the 17th of November, we got gunpowder to remember Guy Fawkes November, and it's 17 kilos in weight, 17th of November. And when she took it over, she's unsteady on this because it's unsteady times, and it's unsteady due to religion, which is the cross, poverty, which is the begging bowl, and enemies getting more powerful. So that's the enemy word just getting bigger and bigger letters, okay? Then we know at this time, a lot of people didn't think women should rule. So again, it's as though somebody's trying to push her off because they don't want her to rule. Now then, the coronation took place on the 15th of January 1559. So, to remember numbers, in Dr. Chan's book, he said very often, we know it's going to be 1500s, okay, because all of this happened in the 1500s. What he suggests doing as a tip is trying to think of a rhyme if you're trying to remember a number, because very often we remember it better as a rhyme. Okay, so 59, I thought, what can I do? I thought washing line, 59 washing line. So now on my tightrope, I'm going to have a bit of this washing line, a bit of this tightrope as a washing line. And on there, pegged to the washing line, are going to be 3 crowns. I say again, forgive my drawings, I'm not very good at drawing, but you get the gist of it. So they're on a washing line, and there's 3 crowns. The 3 crowns are to remind me of Epiphany. And for those of you not familiar with Epiphany, it's what they call the 3 Kings Day, the 3 kings from the Bible. And that always happens the 6th of January, so it's January. So those 3 crowns are going to remind me, A, there was a coronation, and that it happened in January. And to remember it was the 15th of January, I'm just going to remember that these all happened in the 1500s. So the 15th of January is when the coronation came. And it's on a washing line to remember 59. So should we put 59 to remember there? Washing line 59. Well, I'll put washing line underneath, because I say I'll actually zoom in on this later. So it's on a washing line 59, so coronation 1559. And when the coronation happened, the reign actually became a bit more stable, and it was seen as an act of stability in actually having the coronation. Now the coronation was a very grand affair, and it involved being on the royal barge, lavish celebrations on the royal barge, and also then a ceremony in Westminster. So I'm just going to draw a boat coming towards them on this tightrope to show that that's how she celebrated her coronation. And to remember Westminster Abbey's got like 2 big towers, isn't there, something from the image. So I'm going to put that on there to remind myself that there's Westminster Abbey. Okay, and then at the time she took over, there was a debt in the country of almost 250,000. Now her wedding cost 16,000 because it gave the impression of power. So that's why she gave these lavish celebrations. So what I'm going to do is put her getting on the barge because of the coronation. She's feeling more powerful, so I'm going to put muscles on her arm. So she's more powerful stepping on there. And out to the barge, I'm going to have some smoke coming out of there. And I'm going to show there was 16 over 250. I'm going to show a random fraction coming out of the boat, the smoke on the boat. So it means there was 16,000 worth of debt, and she inherited a debt of about 250,000. Okay, and the muscles on her arm as she's getting on is because she gives the impression of power. And like I said, I've got a steady line now. We'll keep the steady line going, because what this actually did was brought a lot more stability. Now Elizabeth's reign was actually, she was very popular, and 3 reasons she was mainly popular, and that was, and on this now, I'm going to put 3 men. Okay, they can be potential suitors. I'll have them a different level, I don't know why, perhaps I'll just remember them better. I'm going to show some love hearts or something coming from them to show she was popular. Okay, and I'm going to call the first one Yuri, I think we'll call the first one, you'll see why in a minute. Then the second one I'm going to call Simon, and the third one I'm going to call Edward. And the reason why I've done that is like a sort of mnemonic to make me remember that stands for, the reason why she was popular was because she was young, she was single, and she was English. Okay, so through that tightrope drawing now, we've actually learned a lot of facts, because I condense these from paragraphs of information. And obviously you'll be able to do this yourself and put your own images to what you think. But I was just trying to think, when you've got lots of dates which can be difficult to remember, I've been sort of racking my brain how I could incorporate the memory techniques that Dr. Chan shows in his Total Recall System book to actually incorporate other subjects and different sort of dates that you might sort of have difficulty getting your head around when you're helping your children with revision. So just to recap, 1558 is the time when that's when she came to power. It was actually on the 17th of November. I know that. I'm going to try and look at you to see if I can remember this. 1558 on the time when she came to power. It was unstable time, so we got the tightrope going like that. It was on the 17th of November because of 17 kilos of gunpowder, and she inherited 3 different problems, which were the cross for religion, begging bowl for poverty, and powerful enemies getting more powerful, so you get enemy getting bigger. Okay, so I've done it up to there. Okay, at that time they didn't like women being in power, so I've got a hand trying to push her off. Okay, then we've got a washing line with some crowns on the washing line, and we know that it's happening in the 1500s, so it's going to be the 15th of something. The 3 crowns show that A, there was a coronation, and secondly, it's to remind me it's Epiphany, 3 Kings Day. All right, so I know it's happening the 15th of January. All right, and I think, well, what year is it? It's a washing line, or it's 59. Okay, so that's to remind me it's 1559. Then she's gaining more power, it's making her look more powerful as she steps on the boat. And the boat is with the 2 sort of funnels, it looks like, but it's supposed to be sort of towers, is to show me that it was a very lavish affair that took place on a royal barge and Westminster Abbey. And out of the funnel, out of the smoke, there's a fraction showing 16/250. The 16 is to show that's how much a wedding cost, that's how lavish it was, which had been a lot of money in those days, I guess. And she had a debt in the country of 250,000, but she did it to become more powerful, or to appear more powerful. We've got a straight line then on the tightrope, that's to show things have become more stable, because that's what the coronation did. And then she was popular for 3 reasons, and I got Yuri for young, I got Simon for single, and I got Edward for English. And there we are, we've condensed a lot of information there into one simple journey, okay, on a tightrope. So I hope that's helped. As ever, as I said, I was thrilled when I came across this book, because I've been very passionate with these type of memory techniques for over 10 years. But I came lucky enough to come across this book, Dr. Chan's GCSE Total Recall System book, which actually highlights some of the memory techniques that I'm really passionate about. At the time of making this video, it's just $19.95 plus postage and packing. It comes with a 30-day money back guaranteed. So if you're not happy, you don't think you've learned anything, which is really unlikely, but if you were to think that, then you can just apply to get your money back, no quibbles whatsoever. One thing I'd like to stress for transparency is if you actually click on any of my links that I'm going to put below, there is a chance I could receive an affiliate commission. You won't pay any more whatsoever for the product. If there are any eligible commissions, they'll be paid direct to myself. All right, but commissions never ever affect my opinion. I only ever pass an opinion on something I've actually tried or I'm currently using. So what I'll do, if you fancy trying this book, as I say, there's no risk whatsoever, and you can actually adapt it, because I've got lots of videos on there to show how you can even adapt. He's got some brilliant ones in there, but I've tried to extend it and show you other ways you can adapt what you learn. And I've got loads of videos on my channel. I'll pop a link now to a review I've done on the book if you want more information. And you can actually purchase from there too. Alright, well, that's it for now. Thank you ever so much for watching my videos, and thanks for all the support and the love you're showing me. It really means a lot. If you've learned anything from this, or you want to share it with other people, feel free to like, comment and share it. I'd be extremely grateful. And now I'm just going to grab my camera and just zoom in so that you can actually see it better. Hopefully that shows it better. Forgive me, but I'm just trying to see. Okay. And then there's that going across to that. So I'll just recap the picture once more for you. 1558 on a timer. Let's see if I can get that. Sorry, I'm not the best with technology. I did say when I started this channel, I'm only a novice, I'm only an ordinary mum, just trying to help other mums. So 1558 is on the timer. There she is, balancing because it's unstable times. So she's got 17 kilos of gunpowder, and then she's inherited these problems, which is religion across, begging bowl, and then enemy getting bigger. Women weren't thought to be fit to rule at that time, so she's nearly fallen off, or she's pushed off. Then you've got the washing line to remember 59, and then you've got the 3 crowns for Epiphany to remember this in January, and it happened on the 15th of January. Then you've got her becoming more powerful as she steps on the barge, because a coronation made things more stable. So you've got the line, the close-up line there, the straight line. You've got out of the funnel then is 16/250. That's to show that she spent 16,000 on the wedding and 250 was in debt. And then she's popular because she was young, single and English. Yuri, Simon and Edward. Okay, hope that helps. And I say bye for now. I'll make another video real soon.